Hello everyone, I am Rise Ryu. I'll be going over the Terran vs Protoss matchup today. We'll be covering a build that goes for a 1-1-1 into a widowmine drop that follows up with a +1 Stim Timing. This is a very powerful attack for Terran and it's a very standard build in TvP. For anybody trying to learn macro or trying to learn a strong timing to win your games in Terran vs Protoss, this will surely help you. So this build is relatively standard, there isn't too much complication to it, however, our execution is what makes sure it does tons of damage. So watch carefully to see when I build my units, when I build my depots, when I cut my workers, and when I go for the attack. All of the timings you see in this video will be important. So to follow up, this build will start with a 16 racks and get a 16 gas, otherwise commonly known as a racks first start. It's important for any new player and even any advanced player to set up your camera hotkeys before the game really starts. The game doesn't really have much going on right now, so it's important that we set these things up before we get overwhelmed with possibly a cheese, or when we're too busy multitasking other units. Personally, I like to use 5 camera hotkeys myself, one for the base, the natural, the 3rd base, the 4th base, and the 5th base. Since we're still not doing anything, we can always take a look back at our camera hotkeys and see if we can improve them. We can try to center them a little bit more, and a bunch of other things. Now that our barracks is finished, we're just going to grab our orbital and make a Reaper. We're going to send an SCV down, and we're going to have it mine a mineral first. The reason we do this is because during this process, the SCV is really not doing anything, so it has time to get a mineral. This also means that when the command center is finished, it will just give us a 5 mineral head start, which is pretty nice. Next, we're going to place down a depot when we get the money for it. Our orbital is about to finish, so we'll drop a mule and make a worker. After the Reaper, we're going to start a marine. And once the marine's started, we're going to bring an SCV down to build the factory. Because we're against the AI, we're going to leave the Reaper in the corner there. As soon as you have the adequate money, drop down your factory, and then just drop down your refinery. For me personally, I like to leave my first marine out in front of my CC. This will help deny scouting or stop harassing from probes. I'm sure we've all had that situation where the Protoss will send a worker in to attack our SCV. With the Marine, we don't have to worry about that too much. Unlike in TvZ, we don't really need to worry about an Overlord popping in, so it's okay to leave your Marine here. If you feel like you need to, you can also send your Marine out and just have it check for cheeses, you know? Now, once our factory finishes, we're going to drop a starport and start widowmine production. Remember to start your orbital and start rallying workers down to the natural. Once the reactor is finished, we'll start making marines also. There are 2 variations of this build. One is a mine drop and one is a defensive setup. For the purpose of this build, we're going to be doing the aggressive one, or what I like to call the more fun variation, where we go for a widow drop. I may perhaps cover the second variation in another video. Now, we're going to just keep on making marines and widow mines. At 38 supply, we'll drop a depot. And once the starport's done, we'll start a medevac. Keep on making your widow mines and keep on making your medevacs and marines and SCVs. About now, you're going to want to throw down 2 barracks at 345. Let's go ahead and grab this probe over here. At 4 minutes, we're going to drop our eBay. We're going to take our widow mines also. So, eBay, send the widow mine drop out, and then tech lab on both your factory and your starport. By the way, the reason we placed our barracks beside our factory and our starport is because once they're done, we're going to be doing a little bit of a switcheroo. Now, after this depot finishes, we're going to start our 3rd gas at 420. Continue making marines. Once your add-ons are finished, swap them off. Keep making workers. You're going to grab just a little bit from now. You're going to throw your barracks onto the tech labs. We're going to go ahead and grab +1 attack, stim pack, and your reactor on our factory and our starport. Start making 1 marine and 2 marauders. And you're going to see we're going to fall just a little bit under gas for combat shields. We're not going to be getting it just yet. If you look, Combat Shields actually has a smaller research time than Stimpack does. It's about about a few seconds shorter, we'll say. Remember to put workers on your gas. We're going to grab that second gas, and about now at 5 minutes 10, we're going to grab combat shields. We want to make sure our production is solid, so keep on making those workers. Once our factory finishes its reactor, we're going to make 2 widow mines, and then 2 medevacs. It's important that you start the widow mines first, because those are going to be more important. Try not to lose your medevac that's dropping the widow mines too, as that's a big thing. At this point, if you need to, you can drop supply. But try to always have supply depots being built so you don't have to waste that extra precious mule energy. A mule mine's about 7 times more than a regular worker, so they're a lot more valuable. If you need to, you can make 2 depots at a time. There's never an issue with that. Now you're going to see here at 6 minutes, our medevacs are about to get ready. So we can start grabbing our units. We can grab this medevac over here. And this medevac over here. We can pick up some extra units on the way. And we're going to start moving out at 6 minutes. We're going to build our third, and it should arrive there at about 6:15. Remember to make your constant depots. Remember to have all your units together. We don't want our units to be picked off, so it's important to keep them together. Keep making your widows. Keep making your units. We can start concussive shells. And by the time we arrive here, this is the first part of the push. We should have Stim Pack finishing, as well as +1 attack. You can already see here this is a pretty sizable army against Protoss. Now, the build doesn't end just here yet. While this is a powerful timing and it may win you games, we also have to focus on our follow-up. By 6:50, we should have enough money to place down 2 more barracks, and this is when we're going to start to aim towards the macro game. At this point, you would have wanted to confirm what tech your Protoss opponent is doing. If they're continuing to make Zealots, Stalkers, and Immortals, you can continue to make Widow Mines. Otherwise, if they have stopped their Gateway production and are instead moving towards Colossi, we will want to start Vikings. Otherwise, in the third situation, we want to get up our 4th medevac and begin Liberator production. Additionally, we want to start +1 armor. We're now going to transfer our workers from the natural to the third base. And we're going to start building depots at the wall here. The reason we build our depots here is to deny Zealot run-bys and as well to keep our supply low. It's important that Terran players get into the habit of spending their money and keeping their supply up. A nice little trick I use to remind myself to keep my supply low is to always have like walls being built, as they are always important and can help in every situation. We're going to grab 2 more gases at 8 minutes and 5. We're going to build more depots, another engineering bay, and an armory. At this point, we should be making 3 Marauders and 4 Marines at a time, as well as 2 Widow Mines. As long as your medevac count is above the number 4, or 6 if that's your style, you can start making 2 Liberators at a time. It's important that you make sure you have 4 to 6 medevacs first though. Medevacs are very important for the Terran army, especially when we're going to be using Stim a lot against Protoss. At this point in the game, you'll probably want to be harassing a lot, so you can shift Q Liberators, or you can find defensive positions like here, here, but never here to attack the Protoss. Typically there are multiple attack routes to get to your opponent's base, and the worst ones Terrans can use is the direct one. Now at 9 minutes, we're going to go ahead and grab our 4th base. We're also going to throw down a Ghost Academy, and we're going to start +2, +2. Continue making your units. Continue making your depots. At 9:30, we can throw down another starport and a fusion core. This will help with our transition into Liberator range, a very powerful upgrade against Protoss. It's also important to start your +1 ship weapons. Little do most people know, the Liberator, when it reaches +2 vehicle attack, is actually able to 2-shot Stalkers in its siege mode. This is very important for Protoss players to fear. It's a very powerful timing with Terran as well when you have your +3 attack and your +2 ship weapons finishing. In most scenarios, your Liberator range will also be finishing, so it's a critical time for Terrans to capitalize on and attack. When our second starport finishes, we can grab our tech lab At this point at 10:30, we can grab 4 more workers. We can start barracks number 6, 7, 8, and we can grab our 5th CC.
Add-on complete.
Our goal is to start going into an air army with bio, as well as produce ghosts. Remember to start your Liberator range and Ghost Cloak, as those are 2 very important upgrades. At this point in the game, you'll probably not want to be making any more Widow Mines. It's okay to take your factory off of its reactor, and instead put another starport on for extra Liberators, Vikings, or Medivacs. At this point in the game, we should be hitting at 1120 with +2, +2, and +1 Liberator attack.
Command center upgrade complete.
Here's an example of what our push may look like. Remember to make sure your macro's staying tight. We want to make these next barracks 2 tech labs and 1 reactor. As you can see, our force is massive and we're just plowing through the Protoss player.
Upgrade complete. Add-on complete.
And our +2/+2 is ready, and so is our +1 ship weapons. And that will conclude the video guide. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.